Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Lexiot's here, and it is Wednesday morning, and we got double duty, and it starts early. So I want to go ahead and get going early right now because we have a game at 11 a.m. in New York City against the Westchester Knicks. Raptors 9:05, 11 a.m. game this morning. So in just over 90 minutes, Raptors 9:05 will be tipping off. So we want to watch that game. I want to get the stream done quickly. Of course, we're playing the Miami Heat today. It's a big game. And let's start off with the latest lineup news as far as who's available for today. This is very important, and in fact, this may be a key to the game tonight. As far as how many people from Miami are missing right now, a lot of their they have three of their main starters out right now. So this is a big deal. Of course, Bam Adebayo got hurt recently. It's his hip. He has not traveled to Toronto today. He is not going to play tonight for sure. Tyler Hero also did not travel to Toronto today for the game. He is not going to play today. It's his ankle. Haywood Highsmith, the other starter, did not travel in advance of Wednesday's game against the Raptors, and he is not available for tonight. So there's three starters right there that are not available tonight for the Heat. Drew Smith out for the season also with his knee, and RJ Hampton is out also right now. So there's a couple of players that are out for the Heat right now. They really are kind of low energy right now because they're missing important people. They've got Kyle and Jimmy. Kyle and Jimmy are the only two starters right now. And then they've got Josh Richardson, Duncan Robinson, Caleb Martin, the rookie Vasquez or something, Orlando Robinson, Kevin Love, Thomas Bryant, and Nikola Jovic is really their team right now. Now, they have lost 4 out of their last 5 games. So this is good. They're since the Bam injury, they're having a hard time connecting to make wins. So in some ways, this is a really good time for us to play the Miami Heat, play them here in Toronto, and hopefully get our first victory against them this season in our first game against them this season. So they are lower powered. And in a lot of ways, we're very full strength. The only people on our list are Koloko. We saw him taking shots in practice this week. So there's some good signs that something is moving towards something with him coming back. So Koloko is out today. Ron Harper Jr. and Marquise Noel are also on the injury list. Of course, they're more pertaining to the game in Westchester. Now, they showed Grady Dick in the advertisements for the game today in Westchester against the Westchester Knicks. So I think that he is actually not here in Toronto for the Raptors game, and he's actually maybe at the 9:05 game this morning at 11. But I don't know for sure. Sometimes they put that graphic up and it's not right. But it looks like Grady is with the 9:05 and not with the main roster Raptors for today's games, just so you know. All right, ref check for you guys. First, we'll do the game this morning. 9:05 at Westchester Knicks and 11 o'clock start. Crew chief is Marcy Williams, number 72. We've had her recently. Referee Kevin Fahey, number 42. And then the umpire is Gina Katzazariti, number 5. So that's your ref crew for the G League game against Westchester Knicks starting in just under 2 hours from now. Here is our crew for the Miami game in Toronto at Scotiabank Arena tonight. Yikes. Yikes, yikes. I see this guy when he comes in, and I'm like, this is fishy. It's going to be fishy shit because Ed Malloy is reffing us again today for the second game in 2 weeks. Ed Malloy is back once again. He refereed the Brooklyn game the other day and did a ref hit job on us in the in-season tournament to make sure that the Nets won and the Celtics got to the part. Well, Ed, your team's already out. The Celtics are out, buddy. So, you fucked up. There you go. Ed's in his 23rd season as a criminal in the NBA out of Media, Pennsylvania. He's one of the Pennsylvania Mafia for referees. His favorite TV show is Jeopardy. Rest in peace, Alex Trebek. Favorite movie, Top Gun Maverick. You don't even like the old Top Gun. You like the newer Top Gun better than the old Top Gun. What's wrong with you? What is wrong with you, Ed Malloy? Of course, he changed his favorite musician to AC/DC this year. Yeah, AC/DC. Yeah, I'm thunderstruck by that. His favorite book is Tom Clancy. He liked penne alla vodka for his meal. His favorite app is Spotify, and he most liked to visit Italy, Sorrento, Italy. Ed Malloy is one of the most crookedest refs in the NBA. He has been refereeing 274 regular season games as a crooked ref. He's a hit job artist, and he comes in to control games to help determine victory for the team that the NBA wants. And that's why I hate seeing his ass in games. Well, listen, I'm going to say this right now. Just because Ed Malloy is here tonight, Bam Adebayo is not, and we need to beat the Miami Heat and overcome Ed Malloy, Kyle Lowry, and Jimmy Butler tonight. I am sorry. We just need to beat them because they're lower strength, and we need to set the right tone and beat their ass, defend our home court, and just fuck Ed Malloy. Just fuck you, and don't let him try and control this game. Beat the Miami Heat so badly that Ed Malloy factor will not be a factor, because he is a factor when he's out there. He is a factor, trust me. We win 45% of our games when he is available to be at our games, which we don't want him to be available. And we lost the last game. Of course, I just said it was the Brooklyn game, the last in-season tournament game that we played. He railroaded us in that game. He often railroads us at least one game per season, if not 2 games per season. I've been paying attention to this for 2 or 3 years now, and I can tell you the games that he railroaded us on. Meanwhile, with the Miami Heat, they have a 56% winning percentage with Ed Malloy present. So it's 45-56 for the Miami Heat with Ed Malloy as the crew chief. The second ref is Sean Corbin. Usually my rule is if your name is Sean, you're a good ref for us. And that's usually true. Sean Corbin's not the better Sean, though. 29th season in the league, actually 30th season. He's in his 30th year, out of Baltimore, Maryland, an older ref. His favorite TV show is CSI Miami. His favorite movies are the Godfather movies, which I just recently watched with Adriana. Favorite musician, Brian Culbertson. Favorite book, Quiet Strength. His favorite meal is steak and lobster. His favorite app is the News app. He'd most like to visit Johannesburg and drive cross country in an RV as a bucket list. And his hidden talent is cooking. Sean Corbin actually played basketball and baseball at Coppin State University when he was much younger. Now, I don't have any particular problem with Sean Corbin, but if he's working under the direction of Ed Malloy, he could be a company man and just follow along with Ed Malloy's referee bullshit. Sean Corbin statistically is our best ref today, but he favors the Miami Heat. We win 53% of our games when Sean Corbin's available. And meanwhile, the Heat win 61% of their games. We lost our last game that Sean Corbin refereed. So it's 53-61, the split for the second ref for the Miami Heat. The third ref is Jonathan Sterling, the husband of Lauren Holtkamp, 8th season out of Hampton, Virginia. He went to Flagler College. Jonathan Sterling, we have not had very much recently. We didn't have him a whole lot last year either. He's a ref that I haven't really watched a whole lot ref us. His favorite TV show is Chappelle's Show, and he likes Brother to Brother, Brother versus Brother also. His favorite movie is Coming to America. His favorite musician is Drake. So I don't know if Drake can come in and hang out with Jimmy and Kyle and our team tonight. That might make things good with the third ref. Favorite app, Maps. He'd most like to visit Australia. His bucket list is to dive with sharks. And his hidden talent is breakdancing. That's pretty damn cool, actually, Jonathan Sterling. Like, we could get a little piece of cardboard out there and see you pop a lock real quick. That'd be badass. I'd love to see you do some electric boogaloo. So if you could come down there and do that, that'd be awesome. His interests and hobbies include detailing cars, bike riding, golf, water sports, scuba diving, and traveling. Sterling is married to NBA official Lauren Holtkamp Sterling, of course. Now, Jonathan's the only ref that favors us today between the three refs. We have a 50% winning record with Jonathan career-wise. And meanwhile, the Heat have 41% winning percentage. So 50-41 is the split with the referee, Jonathan Sterling, the third ref for tonight's game. So overall, this ref crew is suspect. When you see Ed Malloy show up in your arena to referee your game, you got to be suspicious, because we know this guy's an agent for the NBA to write storylines for Adam Silver. Now, I don't understand. Like, this is a game that they just threw together the schedule in the last week. We did not know we were going to have to play this game until last Wednesday. So it's very interesting. I don't know. I mean, the only real important thing is the season series with the Miami Heat as far as Eastern Conference standings and playoff race and seeding and things like that. You know, the NBA is showing a pattern that they want the Raptors to lose the Eastern Conference. They've had us take L's against pretty much all the important Eastern Conference teams so far this season. Well, is this going to be the same thing tonight that Ed Malloy is supposed to come down there and make sure the Raptors lose at home to an injured Miami Heat team tonight? I don't know. Let's see. Raptors, you can write the script the way you want to write it and get down there and play your ass off and win the game no matter what odds you're up against. That's what I'd like to see tonight. All right, let's check out y'all's comments this morning. There's our setup for the day with the referees and the injury report. There you go. All right, let's see who's first. Canadian Dana first in the chat. Good morning, everyone. Happy game day. Happy game day to you, Dana. I hope you're doing very, very well. And whoever's going to the game tonight, I know Monique's probably going to the game tonight. Please get loud and cheer our guys on with that good, positive energy your Raptors fans should have. Trevor J's here. Good morning, Raptors family. Happy game day. Let's go. And he's got the starting lineup out there. Pascal, OG, Scotty, Dennis, Jakob, Gary, Precious, Grady, and Darko. We are back, baby. We are back. And here is the Trevor J Cup. Only 4 people eligible to win this at this point because all of the rounds are up. And now they're going to Vegas with the final 4 to play on Thursday and Saturday. They're going to determine and get it down to one person who's going to win this. So who's the 4 left? We've got Paul B representing the Milwaukee Bucks. Can still win this. We got Kenrick, Chronic, Art, James representing the Los Angeles Lakers that can still win this. We've got Indiana Pacers represented by Edmund, Race Mode Daily. And then finally, we've got the New Orleans Pelicans represented by I'm a Fun Guy. Could win this still. Only 4 people in the running still. Paul, Edmund, Kenrick, and Fun Guy are the last 4 in the competition for the Trevor J Cup. We'll see who wins it on Saturday, depending on which team wins it. Yeah, Trevor J's here. He's saying the referees helped the Lakers to move on last night after a controversial loose ball timeout when no team had possession off the ball. LeBron called timeout, and the referee gave it to him with 7.7 seconds. Yeah, I didn't see the play, but I've heard a lot about what's happening with it and that a lot of people see it suspicious. How do you call a timeout when the ball's loose on the floor like that? I don't know, Adam Silver. How do you do that, Adam Silver? Can you answer that, please? How do you call a timeout when the ball's loose on the floor? I mean, the coach of the Suns is very upset about it, and there's a few other people upset about it, but Kevin Durant's not upset about it. He's not. He said that it's fine what happened and that we should have just made our shots and then we would have won. So Kevin's not using it as an excuse himself, Kevin Durant, but other people are pissed off about it. I don't think that it would have mattered that the Lakers kind of were pulling things off at the end. LeBron started taking over with 3 minutes to go and started scoring a lot, and he got a good cushion for them. I know it's fishy, but this is not, I call wolf all the time, and I don't want to call it when I'm like the boy who cried wolf. And it's like something that is not really something to make it upset about. In some ways, look, that's one play, that's one possession. And in some ways, it's messed up. Yeah, because they didn't have the ball. What is he called timeout? They get the ball back, and then they inbound the ball. All of a sudden, he just got the Laker ball by telekinesis. He's like, timeout. The ball's on the floor. It's your possession now, Lakers. That's fishy, sure. But that's still just one possession. And the referee's going to screw up at least one possession at the end of the game. So that's why teams just got to make their own destiny and win the game. I use the refs as an excuse all the time. And sure, that was fishy as fuck. And that was a messed up call. It should not be able to call a timeout when you don't have possession of it. But we can't blame that for why the Suns lost. And that's the one thing I will say. I try to be fair about this. I really do try to be fair about this. And in this situation, yeah, that's shady as fuck. And it looks real bad. But that's not the reason why Phoenix lost. And Kevin Durant will tell you that himself. So it is what it is. It is what it is. And in some ways, the Lakers are lucky. And in some ways, Adam Silver got what he wanted. So it's crazy. Monique is here. Superfan Monique Lawrence, the greatest, is in the house. She'll be heading down to Scotiabank Arena tonight to get some good NBA action in, watching the Raptors hopefully beat the Miami Heat. Let's beat them. Yeah. Good morning, Raptor Freak family, and happy game day. Ready to bring the energy to the arena tonight. Enjoyed my 4-day break. I know for a fact the guys are ready. I hope so. I hate this shit. This is like too long for them to be sitting around. I kind of like the way they did it, though. Like Darko gave them Saturday and Sunday off to be totally away from the team and just have time with family and do different things. Of course, a lot of them went to the Giants of Africa gala on Sunday night, so they were around each other still, even though they had the option to like kind of just do their own thing. Dennis saying in an interview yesterday, it was very nice to have 2 days off with his family for he hasn't had like days like this in the middle of the season like this in a long time over his career. So it was nice that they got 2 days off, but they went right back to practice on Monday morning, and they practiced pretty heavily Monday and Tuesday. So this is good. And apparently from the interviews yesterday, it sounds like Dennis is very pleased with the building that they're doing off of the season and the things that they're doing, and that practice is very fruitful and productive as far as they're getting stuff, and they advance, they figure some things out, and they're like, all right, now let's work on this next thing. So there's something good about that. Of course, Dennis also, yeah, we're going to say it. Monique's got the quote in a little bit. I'll read it in a second. But yeah, I hope the guys are ready. Sometimes when you have 4 days off, this isn't the best. But then again, Miami's had 4 days off too. I think they may have played on Saturday, so they may have only had 3 days off. But still, both teams have had multiple days off regardless. And, that can be a factor for teams sitting too long. We can think about the All-Star break and coming back from the All-Star break. This is similar. This is a little bit similar. This is an amount of time that's close, almost close enough to as long as the All-Star break. And sometimes teams, when they have that much time off, they're a little flat when they come back. So hopefully they're fine and they're ready, like Monique is saying. Jimmy's here. Good to see Jimmy Pope. The positivity in the house. Laughing my ass off. That loose ball timeout was crazy. And mind you, these are the best officials in the world. Sure they are. They're on FanDuel, 100%. Jimmy. I'm going to give you a dunk for speaking the truth. I'm sure these motherfuckers are. Everybody's gambling now, except for the Raptor Street, because I don't gamble. And I think it's a really slippery slope. You can get yourself into a really bad place financially if you start gambling your life on crooked sports. And yeah, if these referees are gambling from the inside, you can see why they would do some shady shit to make their money. You know what I'm saying, right? You know what I'm saying. All right, where's Jimmy? Jimmy's on here somewhere. I know he's on here. Where is Jimmy Pope? Jimmy. There's Jimmy right there. Boom. All right, cool. All right, next comment. Monique is saying Dennis spoke on the 20 games so far, and he's right. That's my point guard. Your thoughts, Lex? All right, I'm going to say this quote exactly how Dennis said it. He said they looked at the first 20 games, and the next 20 games are going to be very, very crucial and important to this Raptors team. And he said even deeper than that, this is going to be crucial and important to the organization. And what Dennis said is very much like he's talking about the trades and the deadlines. And, he's saying depending on how we do in the next 20 games could very well depend on, we'll figure out what the front office is going to do very shortly. And it sounds like the deadline and the things that are going to happen will happen either near the end of these 20 games or somewhere near the end of it, because in some ways, how we do in the next 20 games will determine the front office making moves. That's really what it is. And when he said this is going to determine things about our team and the organization, that's what Dennis is saying, that he knows that there's a good chance that there's going to be some sort of player movement in the near future with the Raptors. And it depends on how well we do in the next 20 games. It's really what it is. It's true, though. This 20 games that's coming up is way easier in some ways than the 20 games we just played. There's a lot more easier opponents, and some of the schedule is way easier in certain ways. So this is an important stretch, the next 20 games, because if we don't win more than we lose, it's going to be more likely that our front office is going to make a major, major move. So that is what he is saying right there. And in some ways, I see optimism in Dennis, but I also see that he's very guarded and cautious and not getting ahead of himself. Dennis is really, really a really good role model in the way he carries himself professionally. He really cares, and he's very serious, and he's very realistic, and he's all about progress and working towards getting better and better. And in some ways, I can tell he has very little respect for people that aren't working to get better and better, and they're kind of just spinning his wheels. So yeah, I love the interview, and he's exactly damn right. And in some ways, what he said is a tell that our front office is going to do something at the end of the next 20 games if the team doesn't look right. There you go. Thank you, Mo, for bringing that up. Trevor's saying hate has 4 letters. Hate has 4 letters, but so does love. Enemies have 7 letters, but so does friends. Lying has 5 letters, but so does truth. Cry has 3 letters, but so does joy. Negativity has 10 letters, but so does positivity. This is one of those ones that I feel like, Trevor, is from a school wall. Like that's up on a wall in a teacher's classroom in Iowa or something like that. What you just had me read. That's a good words of wisdom. I mean, seriously. Basically, what I take from it is you can look at things either positively or negatively. There's an inverse. There's a two sides to everything, and it's really your perspective that can shape your world, and you can go in the direction of your choice. If you really, really want to go towards enemies and lying and negativity and hate, you can do that. You can join the dark side, Darth Maul. But if you want to go towards the goodness and the good stuff, you can focus on the other stuff that he mentioned there that has the same amount of letters. There you go. Life is two-sided, so choose the better side of it. That's right, Trevor. I love it. Fiercely saying, good morning, family. Happy Wednesday. We got a game today. It's game day. Yay. My dream of getting the IST trophy is dead, thanks to the awesome refs who helped the darling Lakers win with a questionable timeout call. I will tell you, I was rooting for you last night, Fiercey, the representative of the Phoenix Suns. Yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. I'm just saying, as long as the Lakers go out, I'll be happy. New York going out yesterday. Boston's out already. There's one more big market that I want to go out. And out of the Final Four, I'm okay with the other three teams winning. Any of the other three teams win, Indiana, New Orleans, or who's the other team? Milwaukee. I'm okay with any of those three teams. I just want somebody to beat the Lakers now at this point. I love it. All these ESPN experts that worked it out to be the Boston Celtics versus the Lakers. Your brackets all get busted and all messed up. Looking all messed up over there in the corner. That's right. Cool Cat's here. Good morning, Raptor Freak crew. Game day. Hoping to see Lowry today. Well, Lowry will be playing today. They need him right now. Trust me, he is not hurt. He is not listed as injured. So Kyle Lowry is playing. In fact, they're going to have him and Jimmy as the only two starters, regular starters, that are playing today. So Butler and Lowry, those buddies, will be at the game playing tonight. But no Hero, no Bam, no Highsmith. Yeah, they're got a lot of injuries right now. Cool Cat saying Ed Malloy, my goodness, tough game tonight. Then Ed Malloy reffing a Raptors Heat game. Oh, triple overtime, baby! Wow. Infamous is saying salute, freaks. I was thinking we definitely need a third point guard to push Flint. I think he is too comfortable. I think having competition will push him to be great. I'm still out on him, though. Well, Jeff Doughton was pushing him last year, but it didn't really push him anywhere. He's just sitting in the same spot. I'm telling you. Well, Marquise, get healthy and kick some butt on 905 so we get another look at you up on the next level, because he could push him. I want to see Marquise Noel, hard over height, push Malachi Flynn a little harder. Yeah, I'm all about what you're saying, Infamous. Yeah. In some ways, I feel like he is too cushy. Everybody's saying, "Oh, he's had such a hard time and no opportunities." That's bullshit. Nick Nursery stuff. Yeah, okay. He gave him chances. He's been getting chances, and the man has not taken the ball and ran with it. And that's what pisses me off. Mugabe's here. Good to see Mugabe Leonard, a great Raptor freak, holding it down in the middle of the country of Canada. We love you, Mugabe. He's saying, good morning, Raptor freaks. It's time to string some wins together and get some dinner. It's time to get those 3 wins in a row, Raptors, so you can get some dinner. Let's see, how quickly can they get this dinner? They got to go and win 3 in a row, right? That's what Darko said. So let's see. They beat Miami tonight. They got to beat Charlotte on Friday. This is very doable. And then they got to go and beat Miami, New York on next Monday. Then we could get dinner right after that. So that's what I'm saying. You guys want that dinner from Darko. You got to beat Miami, Charlotte, and New York in the next 3 games. And boom, then you got dinner from Darko. It's that simple, Raptors. Let's see you do it. I want you to get dinner with Darko. Get dinner with Darko. Dinner with Darko. Dinner with Darko. Buy the most expensive lobster. Dinner with Darko. Bring all your friends. They're here too. You got to pay Darko. You know, he said at the end of that interview that he would buy dinner for the reporters too. I'm like, no, Darko, don't. No, don't feed Doug Smith. Don't feed him. And they were talking about, like, you're a creature of the night, Doug. I'm sorry, Doug, but I don't stay up as late as you drinking my face off, Doug Smith. And Doug Smith's like, oh, you're going to be here someday, Darko. Well, how the fuck would you say that to our coach, man? That he's going to be a miserable drunk like you, Doug Smith, drinking in a bar at 1 or 2 a.m. every night. No, that's not our coach. He drinks coffee. He does not drink your alcohol. So there you go. That's the way it goes right there. He does maybe, but not as much as you do. That's right. Don't offer dinner to the reporters, Darko. Please don't do that. Oh, man. All right, let's keep going. All right. Randolph saying, blessings, beloved Raptor freaks. Most informative gang on this game day. Yes, Randolph Phillips. Thank you for your blessings. Let's go string some wins together and change the negative narrative around our team. The manufactured negative narrative by the press and the negative fans that just want to fill in the gaps because they feel like there's nothing there to be filled in. Well, why wouldn't you fill it in with goodness and projecting winning and badass things for this team instead of writing so much malarkey agents out there? You malarkey agents. Yeah, what do we win tonight? We get 3 wins in a row and boom, things are nice and things are happy. That's the thing. Y'all need to project goodness and good stuff for the Raptors. It's like being so negative, press. You've got everybody thinking that it's such a bad time for the Raptors. And that's absolute horse shit. This is not a bad time for the Raptors. We are going to turn the corner soon, and everybody's going to wake up, and everybody's going to be like, damn, Raptors Freak was right. The Raptors are good, and they're getting better and better every day. So, yeah, that's what's about to happen. And these idiots are going to look stupid. The so-called experts that get paid on TV to do this shit, they're going to be wrong, and I'm going to be right. And y'all are going to go around and say, Raptors Freak was right. Those motherfuckers were wrong, Michael Grange, bitch. Yeah, that's right. That's seriously what's going to happen. You know, I'm often very, very correct on certain things. And right now, I'm going to stake some very, very, very big things, saying my credibility that the Raptors are going to start winning very soon. And we are going to all be very happy about it. And all the doom and gloom that they're forecasting and giving you all shakiness, that's gaslighting. And fuck them for gaslighting us about not feeling confident or good about our team, because our team is good and we're about to turn the corner. And you listen, just like I said, in-season tournament is going to be a success. Everybody's going to like it. It's going to be good. Nobody believed me when I said that in the summer. Well, I'm going to say it again. The Raptors are about to turn the corner, and everybody's going to see it. And these other motherfuckers were wrong about the in-season tournament. Well, they're going to be wrong about this, about the Raptors too. So, yeah, that's how I feel about it. And we'll see who's right in the next little while. Negative Sportsnet run by Ted Rogers, who wants us to fucking believe his team sucks, or me, who knows the truth, who can see it in the way they're playing, the way they're passing the ball, the way they just need to make their shots, and then boom, all of a sudden they're going to win. That's all they need to do is make their shots, and then boom, we're going to be a winning team. That's all it's going to take. Seriously, make your free throws, make your shots. Raptors are going to be a winning team. And we got the defense. We got the good chemistry. We got a lot of good things. We got Scott budding and blossoming as a superstar in this league. There's so much to be very happy about if you're a Raptors fan. Don't listen to this negative ninnies, motherfuckers with their stupid chicken little shit talking about, oh, they don't know what they're doing, all this stuff. We know what they're doing. They're building a very awesome long arm team that is kicking the shit out of players on the other side on defense. And it's going to add up to winning at some point. So, yeah, stop gaslighting us, Rogers Sportsnet. Stop gaslighting us, reporters and newspapers. And just fucking tell the truth. The Raptors have a lot of talent, and they could turn the corner any moment, and it could be very, very good. So, yeah. All right, let's see. Cream Thomas is here. Good to see Cream Thomas. Press is going to get the chain tonight. I like this prediction. I like this. Last time he went against his former team, I think he grabbed like 20 boards and had like 18 points. Honestly, I think we should give Precious the chain before the game. No, we don't want to give anything before. It's definitely, he's got to earn it. But I like this prediction. And honestly, I could totally see it. We have seen Precious Achiuwa have very big games against the team that drafted him. He played for as a rookie, the Miami Heat. And we know why this happens. Of course, we know why this happens. And I'm all for it. And I could see this. You know, in some ways, they're small. They're small right now. In some ways, this team is very similar to Dallas. And we should be able to bully them. We should be able to bully the hell out of them. Like, who's going to stop us down low on that Miami team right now with Bam being out and Haywood Highsmith? Those are their two biggest guys. They're 4 and 5 to start. Who's coming in to start after them? Duncan Robinson? Is he playing center right now? Is Kevin Love, his old ass, you're going to dust him off and bring his old salt and pepper haired motherfucker out and try and have him play against us? Nah, see, that's the trouble for them. And just like a lot of teams recently with the Raptors, we beat them with size. we beat them with big boys like Scotty Barnes. And that is probably what's going to happen again tonight. I see the Miami Heat is undersized and undermanned, and we need to beat the shit out of them, like beat them up like bullies. Yeah, I'm all about this. I could see Precious doing this. It could be wide open. They were saying they were rededicating themselves to a couple things in the last couple of days in practice and getting better at them. And well, we're going to see that getting back on defense, and some of the rebounding is two of the things that they were talking about yesterday. Trevor J saying, is the Raptors 905 on NBA TV today? Well, just go to their website, Trevor. You can always watch it there usually, and it'll be on YouTube. And that way you don't have to mess with any TV or nothing. It's for free on YouTube on their website usually. So hopefully it'll be on there. If it isn't, well, then it may be you have to watch it on NBTV. But hopefully the game is actually being telecast through YouTube, through the G League website. That's the best place to look. Raptors 905 official website. You can usually watch it. 11 o'clock start. Infamous saying the Suns lost because Booker shit the bed. He didn't show up and kept turning the ball over. Yeah, he's hurt still. He's hurt. He's not playing exactly 100%. Yeah, and I saw Grayson Allen was shooting pretty good. And then, of course, Bradley Beal. Like, what was the point of that? You go and get Bradley Beal, and this man just is not going to play. He's just injury all the time. Injury. Carlos here. Good morning, fellow Raptor freaks. Good morning to you, Carlo JS. One of the best Raptor freaks out there. Always positive. Always got good takes. Always fighting the good fight. We love you, Carlo. Hope you're having a great morning. Monique is saying, no, Trevor, 905 are away tonight. Yeah, today, Monique, that game is 11. It's a schoolyard game. They're probably busting in a bunch of rowdy New York school kids into Westchester to get loud at this game for good citizenship and perfect attendance. So, yeah, I'll bet you they will be there, and there will be no chocolate thrown on the court today. Hopefully, no chocolate thrown on the court today. Carlos saying, I've had it with the Raptors show. It's deleted from my pod list. All they talk about are trades. And hang on, it jumped ahead. And how awful the lineup is. Will Lou and Blake Murphy used to be good. Listen, now they sound like bitches. Well, who writes that check? Is there in the corner of the check that Blake Murphy gets? Does it say Ed Rogers III? I believe it does. And that's what I'm saying. These guys get compromised. These guys are awesome, amazing journalists. And they've done such great work ahead of this. Like Blake Murphy used to be the man that told you everything. He was on the pulse of the team so much, but now he's divided between the Blue Jays, AEW, bullshit wrestling, and now he doesn't focus as much on the Raptors, and he's not as like breaking news as he used to be. He was basically the Raptors' Woj for the longest time. Now, Sportsnet, it happens. It happens. Will Lou, amazing reaction pod after the Raptors games years ago. Just so much good stuff coming from Will Lou. Well, now, he's getting that check that says Ed Rogers III in the corner. Yeah, that is a big part of it right there. Corbin Mandate said, you guys can't make people feel too strong about the Raptors. There's a big college game coming up this week. Nobody knows about. Zach Edey and the Purdue Boilermakers are playing a game here in Canada, and it's not getting advertised at all. That is how much Canada is trying. People in Canada are trying to stop basketball from becoming more popular. You look at the way Sportsnet dropped the ball with their programming of FIBA this summer, and you understand there are people actively working for Rogers to stop the growth of basketball in the country of Canada. Does anybody know that Zach Edey and the Purdue Boilermakers are going to play a game very soon here in Canada, and it's going to be on TV? No, because there's no advertising. And then they're not making a big deal out of it because they don't want people to watch basketball in Canada. And that's just the damn truth. So they're holding it down in all kinds of ways. Make the Raptors a very popular team, gaslight their fans, and make them feel like their team isn't that good. And just tell them, especially when it's like unsure, unshaky. You can build momentum or inertia by making it sound like it's not a good team. That people will turn it off, or there won't be a fan base that's enthusiastic and wishing positive things for them. It's like, what's the point? Blake Murphy and Will Lou told me our team sucks, so why should I even care? That's how messed up this shit is. And I commend you for doing that. I will only watch them when they interview Dennis or other players. And if they're just talking out their ass and opinions and shit, I have no time for that at this point. Because I can't trust anything those guys say because of whose name is in the corner of their checks at this point. And that's the way most Raptors fans should look at this. We know Ed Rogers III hates Masai Ujiri, and he's trying to get him fired and out of our company. And, well, He will use his company, his media conglomerate, to fight his fight of perception and bullshit. And that's why if you hear people talking bad about Masai, tell them that they work for Monty Burns, real life Ed Rogers III. Because that's basically what I hear is like, y'all are talking for a rich ass millionaire, billionaire motherfucker here in Canada who's taking all y'all's money on a cable bill every month. And you're standing up for him against Masai, who's trying to grow a sport in a continent and get more better players for us. And he's driving us towards championships. He's the drive in our company. And you're going to pick old ass Monty Burns, motherfucker, Ed Rogers over our guy Masai Ujiri, who brought a championship to Toronto. You motherfucks, you pick sides right now. If you hate Masai, you're on Ed Rogers' side. And that's up to you if you want to take that side as a Raptors fan. You just know that you're being used as a pawn, just like Blake Murphy and Will Liu. There you go. There you go. Bam. Kareem saying, Miami can't match our strengths, but Spoelstra got that team playing like dogs all the time. You know, this is the thing, Kareem. They've lost 4 out of their last 5 games, so they are feeling the absence of Bam Adebayo. So that's what we got to do. We got to go down there and mess them up. Some people are talking about Duncan Robinson has leveled up a little bit recently. In some ways, he's able to play with the ball without needing other people to set him up for shots at this point. So we do need to be a little more careful of a newer look Duncan Robinson, who's playing a little bit better lately. Of course, not having Tyler Hero around, that's great. You know, that's great. So I'm seriously, we got to beat them up down low. In some ways, I wish Koloko was playing today just to get that get back with Caleb Martin. Yeah, I wish Koloko was playing today. That's right. MSJ is here. Chris, good to see you, Chris. Hey, all, hoping for a win. So am I. Let's get that big W today, Raptors. No messing around. We're back to business, baby. We've had a little bit of break, and it's time to go back to work and kick the shit out of the Heat in front of the home time crowd. And Ed Malloy here tonight in Toronto. That's right, baby. Mischief is here, the bassman. I got the scouting report from Miami bench. Scored 59 points and over 50% from 3 in their last game. Holy crap. All right, so see, that's the thing. I'm telling you, their starters are hurt. In some ways, they got to rely more on the deep bench. You know, that Vasquez, the rookie, Vasquez, or, you know, Jaime Vasquez Jr., he's been very good. He's one of their best scorers off the bench. Somebody we got to look at, and for the first time as a team, and hopefully we can not let him have a very good first game against the Raptors. Hopefully Darko and them have the scouting report on that young rookie because he has bolstered them off the bench, and they're relying on him right now with all the injuries. So we're going to have to get to know their new rookie real quick. Nako's here. Good to see Nako the Nacho. Gerald Mayhew, comedy stylings of Gerald Mayhew. If you see the name on the marquee at the Comedy Bar and other comedy clubs around the Toronto area, that is Gerald Mayhew. That is Nako the Nacho, our Raptor Freak friend. I want JFL to get in the rotation. Well, he's probably going to be in New York today. I haven't not heard anything about the comings and goings between 905 and the Raptors. I'm just going to assume that everybody that's available for 905 is there for them, and none of the two ways or even Grady Dick is with the Raptors tonight. But that may be wrong. It could very well be that Grady is here in town, and they faked us out by putting him in the ad for the game today against Westchester. Well, we'll find out very quickly at 11 o'clock who's physically in New York State and who's actually still in Canada. So, yeah, we're going to find out. We'll find out. JFL will get a shot on the upper level. And they talked about this recently in one of the practice interviews in the last couple of days about bringing up the two ways and when they will get cracks at playing with the main roster. And, yeah, he alluded to when these guys get healthier, they will be probably fit coming up. Or maybe it depends on where the teams are geographically. And also maybe like how much that team down there is hurt. Because honestly, 905's been way more banged up than the main Raptors roster. And honestly, I'm okay with that. I don't want anybody banged up, but yikes. Let's see. Fiercely saying, IST is done. I no longer care for the Suns. Back to business with the real ones. Yeah, she was just rooting for the Suns. Wow, they were her team in this IST. So she's like, sorry, Kevin. She's going to snake you now. She's going to go back to her real love, the Toronto Raptors. So sorry, Kev. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Hasta la vista, baby. MSJ saying Javon is coming for Flynn's minutes. But anyway, I look for Yak to play well tonight. We got to win this. Yeah. He's an advantage for tonight. I mean, unless they try and start Kevin Love against him, even then, Kevin Love's slower than him in some ways. I don't know. I like that matchup. I mean, if Yak can beat Mobley and Allen, he can beat Kevin Love, I would think. So I'm very interested to see Yak and how much of a factor he is in our game tonight. He could be a big key to us winning tonight for sure. In some ways, the battles we've had with Miami in the last couple of years, Yak was not there. We had these games without him present. That triple overtime thriller from a year or two ago. Amazing game. Jakob did not play in that game. So it could very well be Jakob is a huge factor tonight in difference in helping us because we hadn't seen him against the Miami Heat last year. I think we played most of our games against the Heat before we even got him reacquired. So it could be the first time we're playing the Heat with Jakob Poeltl returned. So this will be very interesting to see his factor. I think he will be a big factor tonight, Chris. I do. Fiercely saying, agreed with Infamous. Grady was kind of pushing Gary Trent Jr., but they both fizzled. We need a solid point guard who will push Malachi to get better. See, Jeffrey was doing this last year. In some ways, Jeffrey was like next to him. And he's like, Malachi, you need to watch out. Jeffrey Dowtin Jr. is sitting right there. And he could be taking all your minutes and your role and everything. But alas, it didn't matter. That's part of the reason why I was fighting so hard for Jeff. Because in my eyes, he deserved to go further and try and progress and develop with us more than Malachi. Because I could see the development and progress happening with Jeffrey much quicker and more tangibly helpful to the fucking team, unlike Malachi. So, it is what it is. Marquise, I think Marquise is more likely to push him than JFL, though, guys. You got to realize the player builds of those guys are different. JFL is really not a point guard. He's not. He's very much a shooting guard, hybrid guard, who's very much more shoot first than pass. And in some ways, he's not really an answer for the future. I think Marquise is more likely to be the one who's going to challenge Malachi for a backup point guard role on this team by the end of the year. I think that he is more likely to do it than JFL because he's a point guard and he plays like one. It just needs to get healthy and come back. Wayne's saying we have been asking for a 4-game win streak from before the Knicks game. Glad to see they're understanding the process. All Raptors need is energy. Yeah, this is interesting proposal by Darko. You know, he's always doing interesting stuff like this, and I'm all for it. You win 3 games, Raptors. I'm buying dinner for y'all. They don't even have to get 4 games. They just have to get 3. It's all baby steps. And I believe they're going to do it, and they could very well do it before New Year's. A lot of people are saying, oh, they're never going to get it. These fucking negative pieces of shit. They're not really Raptors fans that don't believe in their team. They're never going to get 3 games in a row this season. They're never going to get that dinner from Darko. Oh, that's a really good bet. They might as well made it a golden ticket competition. They're not going to get that. You know, that's fucking bullshit. They will get 3 wins in a row. Oh, yeah. And it may be sooner than later is what I'm going to tell all those negative ninny Raptors fans that think that way. That's not a Raptors fan who doesn't believe their team can win 3 in a row. That's not a fan. What are you? You're a fucking Toronto sports fan, and you probably like the Leafs more than the Raptors, and you're jaded and cynical, and you put down the Raptors even though you're a fan. No, that's gaslighting, crazy-ass, toxic shit if you're going to be a fan like that. Fuck that. Believe in your team. Believe that they can get 3 games in a row and that they can win dinner. Believe in them. They're hungry. They want to eat. That's right. Let's see. Kareem saying we're going to beat the brakes off of the Heat so bad. Jimmy will straighten his hair and paint his nails black and send him into an emo trance. I like this. That's right. Panic at the Scotiabank Arena. Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Eats World Butler. That's right, motherfucker. You're emo shit. Yeah, let's get you emotional tonight. Emotional. Yeah, maybe Drake could come out there and sing a song that makes you feel like you think about an old girlfriend that you're sad about. Maybe you have reminiscence of running up and down the field at the University of Toronto in downtown Toronto in the summertime. Oh, the summer was so nice. The breeze was so good that day at the track. Ooh, I don't know. Let's get in Jimmy's head. Let's get in Jimmy's head, and maybe his hairstyle will change by halftime. And everybody will be like, whoa, Jimmy's hair looks crazy in the second half. How did he do that? I don't know. He's a hair artist. He's a hair artist. Yeah, I'm all about this. That's right. Let's see him get emotional. I get so emotional, baby, every time I think of you. Yeah, that's an old school one right there. Yeah. All right, let's see. Kareem's also saying Darko's so cheap. He's going to take the team and report as a Subway and use Scotty's discount for the whole team. Are you trying to make a joke? Because you just did. You're funny. even though that's a detriment to Darko. You know he's going to take them to somebody like, what is the place they always go to? Soto or some shit like that. You know they're going to take them to the creme de la creme, the restaurants in downtown Toronto. They're not going to take them to the Bowway. No, Scotty get Bowway anytime, any day. You can snap his fingers and Bowway's right in front of him. The way his life is right now as a Subway spokesperson. Same for Chris Boucher. Yeah, Chris Boucher has got the same thing. Oh, Bowway, you got Bowway, Chris. There you go. And Siakam's got the McDonald's hookup. So come on now. You know they're not going to be slumming with this Bowway. They can get that anytime. They're going to be going to Soto. They're going to be going to Cactus Club. You know they're going to be going down there to the better places. Come on now, Kareem. Come on, man. That'd be funny, though, if he's like that. He's like, yeah, I told y'all I'd take you to dinner. I didn't tell you where. White Castle. White Castle in Ohio. All right, let's keep going. MSJ saying this team just needs to shoot the three better. That's it. And it will take time, but I believe it's going to happen. Yeah. Yes. It's kind of like a perfect storm of like Gary, your best shooter, is hurt. Grady's too young. He's only 20. These like these shooters that we got. Otto Porter, what is going on? Play him. We got the shooters, and we just make our threes a little bit better, make our open shots better, get better at the free throw line. Oh my gosh, we are gonna win. We're gonna start winning. When those balls start going through the hoop, we're gonna be good. Trust me, we're gonna be good. All right, let's see. Cookhead saying our benches are Achilles' heel. Once our bench steps up, we will be fine. Yeah, and if it ain't fixing itself in the next 20 games, well, Masai and Bobby will probably fix it real quick. It sounds like Dennis knows. He's like, I'm gonna be fine. The organization is gonna make changes in 20 games if we don't win enough, and he knows that he's just gonna see it, and then boom, Dennis is not even upset about that. It's like, look, if they make the changes, then all right, good organization. Now let's go forward with the new look and see if we're better and with it, and I'm sure we will be. We make minor adjustments this year. It's no big, huge. Although if we are really bad in the near future and we lose way, way more than we win, the likelihood that we trade somebody like Siakam will go up. So this is part of it too. It's like Scotty, OG, Dennis, Jakob. You guys like playing with Siakam? You like playing with OG? You like playing with Gary? Well, win a lot so that these guys will be less likely to be traded. And that's really what's coming up in the next 20 games. You guys need to be successful to keep the band together. You keep saying we were just trying to stay together. Well, when they say that, they don't just mean that on the court and communication. They mean that as far as we're trying to stay together as a team and not getting traded out of here. So they need to win to stay together. And if that's their goal, that we're just trying to stay together because we enjoy playing with each other because we're friends and we like this team, well, you guys need to be successful to keep the band together is basically what we're saying right now. Fiercely saying that's why I appreciated Jason Kidd's. Hang on, it jumped ahead. That's why I appreciate Jason Kidd going off on the reporters recently. Told them it's okay to write positive shit. People will still read your articles. Literally cursed. It was beautiful. Yeah, this is what if you're smart media, you will understand that people are crying out for more things like what I'm doing here. And that's a positive mindset, perpetuating positivity, talking about things that are great, things that could happen that are awesome, instead of talking about the shitty things and this sucks and fucking being Eeyore motherfuckers, the way you write shit. That's a big thing. And I think that we're going to go through a renaissance. At some point, people are just going to get pissed off at a certain point and be like, I'm sick of all the negativity. I'm sick of all this bullshit, just like Jason Kidd. And they're going to be like, I'd reject everything that's coming at me negatively as far as news, entertainment, media. And I'm going to go and spend my money and give my attention to the people that are out there making me smile, making me laugh, making me enjoy my day more instead of making me worry more about shit. It's such a big thing. It's such a big thing in how they try and shape you to feel unsettled or mistrusting or not happy. The way they fucking gaslight you with the unsettled, crazy ass reporting and shit like that. So people are going to be fed up and they put their money where their mouth is, their attention where they want to put it, start focusing on positive creators, positive writers, people that, are knowledgeable, intelligent, factual, but they don't have you fucking wanting to slit your wrists after you end up reading their shit or whatever. That's a really big thing because there's so much negativity out there. People are thirsting for positivity. They really are. And as life goes on and on, more and more, they're going to want more of it because this negative shit is just getting old. Let's put it that way. Yeah. Let's see. Nako saying if the Suns had Mikal and not Beal, they'd probably be a true contender. Yeah. Yeah. I could see that. But they had to do that to get Durant. So the Beal thing doesn't really have anything to do with Mikal. Mikal was getting Durant. And in some ways, that wouldn't have been possible with that group. You can't have Durant and Bridges. But yeah, that would have been simple. Yeah, if they had Bridges instead of Beal. Yeah, you're exactly right, Gerald. Kevin's here. Good to see Kevin Thompson. Been here a couple days in a row. Good to see him. Tre Mann, underrated scoring guard from OKC. We should get this guy. He's stuck behind SGA and Giddey. Good ISO scorer. Tre Mann. Now that's a different man. It's not Terrence Mann of the Clippers, who's Scotty's friend, and would love to get him because he's actually very close with Scotty already. Tre Mann is the lesser known one, the one that Cool Cat drafted by accident 2 years ago in our fantasy draft. Thought she was drafting Terrence Mann, but she drafted Tre Mann. I don't listen. We're not really doing trade talk in some ways, Kevin. That's an interesting suggestion. And I will say, in particular, with that franchise, Oklahoma City has a glut of young talent, and there are guys that are not getting played because they have too many guys on that team. And there probably is some good people to maybe trade for from the end of the bench that aren't getting time on Oklahoma City. But once again, I don't really do trade speculation content. I don't like talking about trades. That's one of the reasons why people like this channel is I'm not like Blake and Will talking about trades. I'm not like the Raptors Digest, Ben Rogers and Luca Rosano. Those guys are always talking trade shit. It's not really something that I like to do on this content. I will answer your question, my opinion on this kind of stuff, but it really isn't something that's like encouraged. I will answer it just out of respect. But most of the time, we don't spend a lot of time saying, oh, we should get this player. We should get this player. I really do believe in don't covet your neighbor's wife kind of shit, where it's like we have who we have. And until the general manager brings us somebody different, then I'll analyze it. So I don't know. Tre Mann ends up a Raptor. We'll look at it then. And, we'll see. We'll see. But I think there is gold to be mined at the end of the Oklahoma City bench of guys that are not getting utilized because they just have too many young guys all together at the same age. And that could be a place where we could trade, although Sam Presti sucks to trade with, although we do have Darko now. So that may make it easier to trade with the Thunder because Sam Presti absolutely loves our coach. So once again, Darko winning because before Darko got hired, Oklahoma City is probably not a team we would trade with because Sam Presti is a dick and he's really hard to deal with. And but we now have Darko, who he likes. He very much likes Darko a lot. So it could very well be we're more likely to trade with Oklahoma City. And also for you SGA fans out there that really want him in Toronto, well, having Darko as our coach made it more likely we would get him than Nick Nurse. Yeah, even though Nick Nurse was coaching him for Team Canada for a while there, and there was some synergy between SGA and Nick Nurse, well, Sam Presti would never trade Gilgeous-Alexander to Toronto, but maybe he would think about it now because Darko's here, is what I would say. Let's see. Jimmy's saying, Dennis made a comment I love. A reporter was complimenting him on his assists, and he said, we are the 11th seed, so that don't matter. He just wants to win, so he doesn't care about personal stats. Yes, that was the comment that stuck out to me yesterday also, Jimmy. That look, they were giving him compliments. They're saying you're leading, you're one of the leaders in the league and assists, you're doing so good in this, you're doing so great. And Dennis, he just looked pissed at him. He said, I don't care about any of this. We're the 11th in the Eastern Conference. That's all I care about right now. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Jimmy. This guy has the right attitude as a leader and what matters and what's important to him. And if he's rubbing off on our younger players on our team with his attitude and the way he looks at things, that's a good thing. Yeah, I love that whole part in that interview where Dennis said, yeah, none of this matters. Okay, yeah, keep kissing my ass, reporter, but I don't care. We're in the 11th seed, and that's no good to me. And until we're there, we're out of the so far and low in the Eastern standings, I will not be happy. I will not be content. I'm going to be a little pissy and a little bit like not happy until we get this team higher in the standings. Then, yeah, I love that comment too. And that just shows Dennis's personality, his professionalism, and his excellence. He's like, I'm not settling for where we're at right now. No, fuck that. We need to be higher in the playoff picture. Higher. That's right. Nako saying, I've seen Alex Wong stand up for Masai a few times on the Raptors show. See, we like Alex Wong. listen, in some ways, Alex Wong has just been along for the ride with Will Liu. They're very close friends. And in some ways, it's like, I want to do this show with my friend Alex. So he's here. But in some ways, Alex is not kind of sold out as much as Will Liu in certain ways. He's a funny guy. He's written that amazing book, Prehistoric, about the Raptors' early history. And, in some ways, Monique and I give him a pass. We very much give him a pass. I don't know. He can get away with a little bit more. But I'm glad he does do that. And thank you, Alex Wong, for standing up for Masai on there, even though you might get in trouble with your boss. Thank you, Alex Wong. You're a real one. And you're going to get a share of the Love Club at some point, for sure. You may get one next summer right away, because I want to share some love for Alex Wong, for sure. Kareem Thomas saying, Raptors show got watered down since they started to talk about other fucking teams. See, that's part of the problem, too. They call it the Raptors show still, but they talk about all other teams. See, that's another mandate to like try and stop people from making us feel like we're special or important. This is the way a lot of the NBA Canada stuff has been oriented here, is like, don't put a focus on us. Don't put a focus on us being the only team in Canada, and make it all about all the NBA teams. There's a lot of people that run the NBA in Canada that want to make it more about all of the NBA and not so focused on the Raptors. And I disagree with that. In some ways, we get shafted and disregarded so much on the other side of the border in the States that if we get heavily favored and shown a lot here, that's just right, considering the way they black us out down south. So, yeah, I hate this shit. They watered it down by saying we're all NBA. Like, look, that's part of the reason why. Look, I don't do all the NBA here. People are saying, why don't you watch all the games? I don't want to. I don't have the time. And in some ways, I'm a Raptors fan. I cover the Raptors. And in some ways, it's like, look, I'm knowledgeable enough about the NBA. I can talk about what happened in the Suns and Lakers game last night. But in some ways, that's not my focus. If I'm talking about the NBA in general, it usually has to do with the lens of looking through it through a Raptors fan's eyes, and how does this pertain to us and our fan nation with our team? And that's usually when I'm only bringing that stuff up. Otherwise, it's like, it's got to be very, very Raptors. It's got to be just Raptors. It may be Team Canada in the summer during FIBA competition, but most of the time it's very much Raptors on this channel. And it ain't going to change. You ain't going to see me go to a all NBA format and start talking about other teams in depth like I do about the Raptors. Fuck that shit. Yeah. Infamous is saying, I co-signed the other Raptors show have become unlistenable. I swear they talk about the Raptors like NBA 2K, thinking trades are so easy to be made by clicking a button, shaking my head. Yeah, and they're not listening to Masai. Masai likes to keep guys minimal removement. He likes to invest in guys and really build them up and keep them around for a long time. He's not like these teams in the past that trade guys in and out so quickly. In fact, that breeds mistrust with your team. If you're a team that's known to trade a lot, it's harder for players to feel loyal and ensconced in your foundation as a team in your building and what you're building. That's the problem. Some teams are really too trigger happy with trades left and right, and those teams have trouble garnering loyalty from players because they really feel like, yeah, this is a team that'll trade people like right away and with no warning. And we're not really like that. And in some ways, that's really good. That's smart. Because once again, I tell people all the time, you don't need to make a lot of trades if you get it right the first time. It's like, that's part of the problem. It's like when you do trades, it's because you need the help or you need to make a change. And that's what we're trying to assess right now. But otherwise, it's just like OG doesn't shoot to miss. Masai and Bobby aren't drafting to miss. Masai and Bobby aren't trading or signing free agents to miss. Dennis Schroeder, Grady Dick, Christian Coloco, Scotty Barnes. So I don't get this. It's like when you make trades or you feel like you have to trade people, it's because you fucked up your trades like Kuminga and Wiseman, and you have to move them around. No. We're keeping good people, and we've had good people, and we want to keep them here. And it's less messy the less transactions that you actually do. So this is a big secret to some of Masai's really smart thing about it. And this is why the trade heads hate him, is because he is anti-trade. And he doesn't do a lot of them. He does them when they matter, and they are really huge when he does them. In fact, when Masai does a trade, it's always a badass trade, and he kicks ass. You can talk about Bargnani trade. You can talk about Rudy Gay trade. You can talk about the Kawhi trade. You can talk about the Precious and Kyle Lowry trade. You could talk about Gary Trent for a Norman Powell trade. You can talk about Marc Gasol for Jonas Valanciunas trade. These are all really good trades for our team that were very intelligently done, very methodical, and very smart, and they made sense. And some of the shit that people bring up and put out there all the time with their 2K thinking, like you're saying, is like doesn't make sense, would not improve us. And that's the thing, these guys are smart. They have a good track record of when they shoot the gun of the trade gun, that they are really, really smart with their target and their why it happened. The Gasol trade is so underrated. Nobody brings that shit up. That they wanted to solidify the possibility of us trying to go get a championship. They traded Jonas Valanciunas for Marc Gasol in the last couple of months of the year we won the championship. That's amazing that they had that idea to do that. Seriously, y'all can act like Masai's been striking out lately, but you're wrong. You're very fucking wrong. Signing Dennis Schroeder was a home run this summer. And people just do not give Ujiri the credit because the media conglomerate is run and owned by a fucker who hates him. And he will paint every kind of picture about how he's failing or not doing a good job or has no direction in his media to confuse Raptors fans. It's like, no, he has a direction. Dude, we lose Fred VanVleet, immediately he goes gets the FIBA MVP of the World Cup. And we didn't even know that at that time. That's how smart he is. He goes and gets a FIBA World Cup MVP 2 months before he actually wins that MVP. So that's what I'm saying. Y'all need to trust in Masai. That's one of the most important tenets of being a Raptor freak. And if Alex Wong's the only person on the Raptor show that still trusts in Masai, kudos to you, Alex Wong. We love you. Monique and I love you. We're really disappointed in your buddies, though. Really disappointed. Let's see. Mugarbe saying, Lex, only you and Chev speak positively about the Raptors. Even YouTubers are talking about the Raptors. All they talk about is trade, and some turn into a Scotty group. Yeah. Listen, you got to keep your focus, people. What is your intention? What's your mission statement for your channel? Is it just to be controversial and get clicks? Is it just to be a little dick? Is it just to be like, why are you doing what you're doing? Why are you doing what you're doing is what I'm asking people. I do this because I'm passionate, huge fan of the Toronto Raptors. I want to see them win as many Larry O'Brien championships as possible. It's very cut and dry and easy to see why I'm here and what I'm sitting here about. It's not about subscribers. I don't give a shit about getting 1,000 million subscribers on this channel. No, I want the right ones. I want the quality ones. I want the ones that are like me, that are just as passionate about the Raptors. And I'm not going for every little person in the world. No, I don't give a shit about being for everyone. I want to be for the real ones, the ones that give a shit about this team in the right way. And, that's the thing. Some of these other people are out there. They want to be controversial. Some of them may be wanting to make content that baits you guys into watching it because it makes you mad. That's gaslighting. That is the epitome of gaslighting. When somebody makes Raptors content with the intention is like, oh, this will get a lot of clicks because people are going to not like what I'm about to write or I'm about to say. That's gaslighting. That is the textbook gaslighting right there. And I'm not trying to do that. I'm very cutthroat, cut and dry, write exactly what I am. And you can see it. You can see the truth and my passion and the way I talk about this shit. And I appreciate that, Mugarbe. Once again, Chev has been talking about, I've seen Kareem talking to Chev, telling him to come in here and visit us. So part of the problem is some of these people are on the night shift and some of them work during the day. And it's really hard for them to come in and get here live at 9:30. But, hopefully maybe on a weekend when you're off on a day off, come and see me at 9:30, Chef. When you've got a 9:30 period, when you're actually up and you actually aren't busy. That'd be awesome. Monique is saying Alex Wong is the best one. See, seal of approval from Monique. And Monique knows the real Raptors fans. She does. If anybody knows real Raptors fans, Monique can sniff you out and know whether you are or not. Kareem saying, Lex, I spoke to Chev in a recent post he did on Twitter. He might reach out to you next year, he said. He knows your work, apparently. Good stuff, Chev. Much respect. And once again, you're a big inspiration for what I do here. And I really do appreciate the stuff that you say as far as like helping the Raptors in the perception war. I really do. And I appreciate that, Kareem. Hopefully it does happen in 2024. Maybe there'll be some new things on the horizon. It'd be really cool. Maybe if I figure out how to do Zoom or something like that, maybe we could have us in 2 boxes and going together at the same time live. That would be awesome. That'd be very interesting. Chris is saying, Will Lou and Blake, I can't stand them anymore. They just play the most obvious, cynical takes, and that's it. Trade talks. Going nowhere. Why listen? A swarmy pair. once again, why are y'all painting such a doom and gloom future for us? If you guys really want to encourage more Raptors fans and more positivity and more things, maybe you could talk about things in a realistic light with a little bit of a positive edge to it instead of like just doom and gloom bullshit. Seriously. Like, why would anybody want to come in there and feel worse from watching y'all? In some ways, what I'm trying to do right here is help people feel better. Like, I would like to think after people watch the Raptor Freak live stream in the morning that they're smiling or they're like, wow, all right, I'm ready to go Raptor my day and kick ass, just like Lex said. It's like, let's kick ass on our day, just like the Raptors would, so they can kick ass in their game tonight. You know, it's kind of how you leave people. You want to leave people with a bad taste, doom and gloom, sadness, depression. Go ahead, Will Lou and Blake Murphy. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. Yeah, you're gonna be helping Statistics Canada add all these suicides and mental health problems from the way y'all do fucking shit, making everybody sad and gaslighting them. So yeah, you keep doing what you're doing. You're helping Stats Can and the mental health problems in this country. Cool Cat saying, imagine Will Lou went from diehard Raptors fan to cynical media on Raptors. They have lost the plot. That is the Raptors that feed them. Laugh out loud. That's what I'm saying. In the basic whole thing, Will Lou, you got to still be that little kid that loved the Raptors when you were growing up. You got to still be that kid somewhere in there. You cannot be this dude. I know you were kind of cynical and weird already. And in some ways, it's your personality is what comes through in this. There's a lot of ways that's what it is. Alex Wong's personality is a joyous place. And in some ways, yours is a hellscape. And I think that's the difference. I think that's the difference right there. It seems like Alex Wong's is a happy, generally happy person. And Will Lou, sometimes I feel like you want to stab yourself. You're like, ah! It's like, I don't know. It's crazy. MSJ saying, I listen to other basketball news. And yes, some places are negative on their team, but Toronto media tends to be really depressing about the Raptors. They need to promote the team in a positive way. It's just poor salesmanship. Like if the media is like if they work for the same company, Bell Rogers, it's poor salesmanship. You need to go and work with some people that sell things like have a big accounts. Like maybe the company I used to work for that used to sell cleaning products to apartment buildings. And they'd have these sales pitches. They're not coming in there and selling it like, oh, this chlorine is going to clean your pool, but it's going to leave a really bad acidic film on the concrete over time, and you're gonna have to clean that later. And but you should still want to buy this from me. What the fuck is this? These vacuums are really good. They're gonna clean all the dust up, but they're so fucking loud. They're gonna wake up everybody on every floor of your apartment building every morning when you do this up and down the hallways. Yeah, you should buy these. That's not selling. That's not selling very good. It's like, seriously, get a selling strategy. If y'all really are a business and you're bound making money, maybe you could work on your pitch, your advertising a little bit better, Blake Murphy and William Lou. Because honestly, you're not good salesmen, is what I'll say right now. You're not good salesmen. All right, let's keep going. Carlos saying, even with the latest Fred VanVleet Woj interviews, all that Blake can take from that is how the front office mishandled that. Really, Blake? Really, Blake? The front office mishandled Fred. Okay, what were they supposed to do? Have we gone over this? We know that they didn't trade him during the trade deadline because they had respect for a greatest Raptor of all time. That's what Masai said. It's like in some ways we don't want to deal him right now because we want to have respect for him. Like we would for a player that did what he did for us, a champion, a G League champion. So many good accolades from Fred being on our team. No, they perfectly handled it. They handled it exactly perfect. See, part of the thing that people have this problem with front offices and GMs and judging them is they think that everything's just perfectly laid out and it's an easy terrain. Like that everything is just so easy to do. And they don't understand that there's really bad, tough situations that every GM gets into and they have to maneuver it. Like it's a very kind of dangerous voyage. And in some ways, the stuff with Fred was done to maximize the best possible outcome with the circumstances that developed. Let's just put it that way. And in some ways, the front office, it's not about Fred leaving or not getting anything from him. It's about, why don't you say this, Blake Murphy, that we took a kid from Rockford that fucking didn't get drafted, that made the team, came all the way up through the NBA, became an all-star, is our franchise points assist leader in a game, is like a fucking NBA champion. He has all these accolades. Why don't you talk about that, Blake? instead of like him leaving? Why don't you talk about the great success of the development of Fred VanVleet to get to where he is and within the Raptors organization under the direction of Masai Ujiri and everybody else that allowed Fred to grow and the work he did to get to where he was? They could talk about that just as much as his exit. And once again, I will say this until I'm blue in the face. Paying Fred VanVleet $43 million a year is a fail. And if we paid him that much money, you guys would have came after the front office and talked shit about them for that. So it's like, yeah, I'd rather go the route where the team is better off without Fred and we didn't overpay him and it's a problem and he's still lingering. There's really, like, seriously, it's the way they want to shape it. And it's Ed Rogers trying to tell y'all that Masai's failing is basically what it is. Is basically what it is right there. It's so crazy. Carlos saying the laziest solution is to break up the team and start over. Yeah. And it's not necessary. In fact, it's really, really not necessary. There's so much more better about our team than bad. And I wish that they would tell people the truth in that way. That honestly, most of the games we played this year, we've dominated teams with size. Most of these teams we play this year, we've shut down with our defense completely. Most of these teams we play this year, we've out rebounded. And we've played way better like team ball than we did last year. So there's a lot of good things happening. But once again, the media don't want you to focus on them or talk about them, but we will hear. We will hear. That's for damn sure we will. Let's see. Seymour saying, I want to see Koloko rise up like The Undertaker and dominate. Rest in pieces. Yeah, I'd love to see that too. Koloko, get the dead man coming. Yeah, come back, do old school, man. I want to see that. I want to see him do old school. Like on the side of the baseline, he's walking along the edge, but he's not out of bounds. He's got the guy's arm. Wayne saying Dennis was very businessman-like when answering questions and stating how good we are. We're 11th in the conference with 20 games in. We have improvement work to do, situational analysis, quite practical. Yeah, he's a realist. He's not sugarcoating it. He's looking at exactly what it is. He understands from years in the league, different places that teams can be in the NBA. And you know what? He's pensive. He's not totally enthusiastic, but he is somewhat optimistic. You can tell he's somewhat optimistic. But once again, he's not going to get all giddy or happy about it until he sees for real. And in some ways, he really wants his teammates to prove some things to him. I get the feeling that some of the push on Scott right now is Thaddeus and Dennis, Otto, Garrett. All those old heads are pushing Scotty to be bigger and better and badder and say, look, young man, you could do this, man. If I had your skills and I had your talent, I would be doing this and this. That's all Thad has to say is like stuff like that. You could do this, and you could do this. And in some ways, they're pushing him to go and take more and be that superstar and be bigger because they see it in him. I heard Thad say this at the beginning of the season in one of the huddles to the guys when they're starting the game. It's like, go out there and force your will on the game. Force your will on the game. So our old heads are telling Scotty to grow into being the bigger superstar that he looks like he's coming to be. And if they're the ones pushing him with encouragement and telling him, it's like, look, Scotty, this is your world. We just live in it. Go out there and make your world happen the way you want it to. That's great. Because in some ways, that kind of encouragement is necessary. Instead of the old head saying, like, I'm worried about him taking my minutes and spots, these guys are saying, go do it. Take it. You are the man. You're the best player on the court every single night. Just go out there and fucking do it. And that's what they want. Dennis can say, hey, this is what LeBron would have done at this point in time. Scotty's listening. He's like, oh, this is what LeBron would do? Yeah, you could go do it. You got a lot of the same attributes that LeBron has. Why don't you go do it, Scotty? Okay, Dennis, I'm going to try and do what LeBron does. Boom. It's just like that. It's just like that. Let's keep going. MSJ saying, Carlo, yeah, I know. It's so weird as given Dennis has been great. What is with the Fred VanVleet stuff? I think the media loved Fred's social commentary or something. Fred took the money, not the front office's fault. Yeah, it all worked out really well, honestly. Like, see, if you had me on the Raptors show, I'd argue this point to Blake Murphy's face. And I might make a very good argument where everybody's saying, wow, Raptors Freak actually sounds like he knows what he's talking about better than Blake Murphy. Seriously. Like, I can spin this all kinds of ways where Fred VanVleet and what happened with him this year is a huge victory for the Raptors. Seriously, the Rockets are going to be like having a little bit of buyer's remorse every single time Fred has a 5 for 25 game with 5 turnovers and he didn't make any threes in the last 5 minutes and they lost. that you can hear people saying, who he's making 43 million a year from us right now. Oh my gosh. You're already seeing little bits of this. Houston came out the gates flying, kicking ass, and now they've come down to earth more recently. And there's a little bit of that kind of talk. So it's like, look, they avoided so many kinds of dumpster fires with y'all, the media, and the fans by letting Fred go. It's just a natural course of his life with the Raptors, his lifetime with the Raptors. In a career, you have different periods of your career. And his Raptors career was over this summer when he went into that next highest salary bracket. And it's just how it is. It's good business. That's the front office being smart by not investing so much money in an undersized point guard that plays like a shooting guard. That's just brilliant. I don't understand how you could think that that's a fail. I don't understand how people can think that's fail. Oh, they didn't get anything for him. That happens in the league all the time. So shut up. We did get something from him. We got great years of his NBA career playing for us in our uniform. That's what we got for him. You don't get everything for everybody at the end of what happens sometimes. Free agencies walk, and that just happens. And you can't say that's a failure on the front office, because in some ways that is at the mercy of that individual player as a free agent to make the front office look good or not. Whatever. It's so stupid the way that the criticisms of the Fred VanVleet stuff is so dumb. I just eviscerated it all. I just eviscerated it. Carlos saying, yeah, 100%. How about talk about how the front office pivoted right away to Dennis after Fred walked? Yeah. And in some ways, Dennis fits way better on this team than Fred did. And in some ways, he's way cheaper. And in some ways, I'm like so excited and awesome with how good Dennis has melded and fit in with us. Nobody's talking about that. Maybe you should talk about that. You're all caught up in the past. Let's stay present, bitches. And let's go forward in the future with winning in mind, is what I'm saying to Blake Murphy and Will Lou right now. Let's see. Cool Cat saying front office already said they do not agree with the narrative of players leaving for nothing. They complete their contract and the money's off the books for the team to do as they wish. That's exactly right. This is a new thing that dumb newer fans think is something, letting players leave for nothing. In some ways, it's a media vehicle that has been made up and utilized that didn't exist like 10, 20 years ago. Nobody ever fucking talked about players leaving for nothing. It's just free agency decisions were made. It's like a weird little fake bullshit nothing to show as a loss for a team. It's like a manufactured propaganda media bullshit thing. Oh, this is a loss for a team because they let a guy leave for nothing. This was nothing that happened, like, say, around 2005. Around 1990, 95, 99, nobody talked about players leaving for nothing like this. This is such bullshit. It's a manufactured media trope just to try and hang a perceived L on a franchise or a GM. And that's exactly what this is. It's bullshit. It doesn't mean jack shit. And Cool Cat's exactly right. The contract's off the books. They're done. He goes and does another job. That's how it is. They're paying him now. He works for the Rockets at this point, and that price is way too high. And I'd be mad at my front office if they paid him that much and he was still playing for the Raptors. Carlos saying, yeah, definitely, Cool Cat. I don't know if I'm 100% accurate, but our front office don't sign players long-term just to trade them, right? We do. We can do this, and we will. We did that with Kyle. We signed and traded him, and that contract he's on right now was part of that. Or I don't know if he's still on the same contract. He might be on a new one since. But yeah, that's actually accurate. That we sign players long term, but we that's the thing. That's why people were saying earlier this week, we don't want to trade Siakam now. If we're going to trade him this year, we're going to wait until we sign him in the offseason to a contract that we can sign him to with money, and then you can trade him on that contract with years left on that contract. But I don't know if that's the right route to do either. I don't necessarily like the idea of Siakam leaving in any kind of way. So MSJ saying, does a Raptors fan hoping we win the team first kind of fan really miss Fred? That's a really awkward way you wrote that. I don't totally understand what you mean. Is a Raptors fan? Guys, I want to finish up. So no more comments because I want to be done in time to watch the game tonight. Or today at 11. Does Raptors fan hoping we win the team first kind of fan really miss Fred? No. And most team Raptor fans should not be upset about this. The proper way to do this is respect him as a GOAT, one of the greatest Raptors of all time, and let him go. But don't denigrate him. say, I respect what Fred did for our team and the amazing things he did. Don't put him down. Don't be like a butthurt ex and be like, oh, fuck him, I hate him and stuff like that. You can do that with Nick. I'm okay with that because he was seedy with what he did. But Fred, no, you shouldn't be putting down Fred. And nobody lost in this whole thing with Fred. Fred won. He got the money. We won because he's gone. And we don't have to worry about Pantsera and stupid shit and fans being all crazy about Fred. So in a lot of ways, this was a win for the Raptors that Fred left and did what he did. Seriously, it's a win. Excuse me. Carlos saying only the media misses Fred. The guy's so good in interviews. Honestly, I love Fred too, and I miss him to a degree, but I'm glad he's not on our team at this point. And he is a good interview, and he is very likable. I mean, when I met him, he's a fantastic person, man. He's just a really, really good dude. I got to hang out with him for 10 minutes and pick his brain. And he was very, very kind to me. He could have been a real asshole to me, but he wasn't. He was not an asshole to me. And that's why I got mad at when Pantsera was pushing that narrative that Fred's an asshole to fans, because that's not true. I know personally, because I've hung out with Fred and saw him on the street in the middle of the night. Nobody was around, no security. He's just in the middle of Kensington Market. I walk up to him and say, hey, Fred, how you doing? And he say, hey, man, how you doing? And I talked to him. I asked him about Kawhi and I asked him all kinds of questions. And he was very answering, and he had no problem with me talking to him. And he wasn't upset. And he took a picture with me. So, that was part of the thing that really got me against Pantsera was when he started spreading lies that Fred is mean to fans in public. Yeah, he was always out to get Fred, no matter what. And now he's switched it to Siakam this year. Let's see. Mugarbe saying, Lex, a lot of fans don't think Scotty not look and see how they treat their star player because they will do it to him. They think Scotty's not looking. Scotty don't give a shit about that. Once again, we don't have as much power as you think we do, Mugarbe. There's bad fans and all kinds of fans in every single fan nation. And these guys are trained to not go see this shit. They don't care. They don't care. They're going to hear these people that are going to be idiot people all around. They know who fans are and who trolls are. That's the difference, Mugarbe. A fan is like us. If they see me and they see me talking about the team, there's like, that's a real passionate fan. Monique is a passionate fan. But if they see people online talking out their ass, cussing at Chris for not making his sports bet happen for them, or whatever, these people are not fans in their eyes. They look at them as trolls, as idiots, as people that they just don't want to have anything to do with. They're able to separate the action and not the person from the thing. They're going to see, look, that action is not a fan-like action. That's a troll, asshole, idiot action. But there's people over here that are saying they love me. They're so glad I'm on the Raptors. Those are fans. So remember that, Mugarbe. These people, they judge on a person-by-person basis. So when you come at them, either they're going to think you're a fucking troll or you're an idiot or somebody that doesn't know basketball and I don't need to hear you, or thank you for being a respectful, passionate fan. I love you. Thank you for your support. It's really on a case-by-case basis as people come towards them. So Scotty's not thinking that our fans are bad to our players because there's enough fans doing it the right way. And the trolls, well, they're just trolls, and they get categorized as that. Let's see. Carlos saying, how about when everyone was clamoring for Suggs and then we picked Scotty at 4? Yeah, those idiots. And I still, it's whatever. Suggs was pissed at us the last game. Well, whatever. He's still not as good as Scotty. We know that. Seymour saying, well, since there is no snow, which is weird as F, I'm going to have a bonfire for the game. Let's go Raptors. There you go. That's right. Burn a big, huge bonfire and burn some things in that fire, just as symbolic to get some good things going for the Raptors, Seymour. I like that. Blackhawk saying the only transaction I disagreed with was the Dragic trade to San Antonio. We should have bought Dragic out. Dragic is nowhere to be seen today, and we should have sped that process up. Yeah, that was such a minor move, Neil, that I don't really key on it or think about it too often. But in some ways, I think you're right. I think that in some ways, I don't know if we should have bought him out. I don't know. In some ways, it's like I really don't think about him at all. I really don't. I mean, I kind of remember when that happened. I was kind of like, why are we doing this with him? But in some ways, who cares? In some ways, you're right. He's nowhere near the league right now. Seymour saying, not sure where all this negative stuff's coming out from, but leave me out of it. Just diehard Raptors freak alert. There you go. Yeah, it's in other places. If you're going to watch the Raptors show, well, get ready for a new brand of negative stank flavor to it. Negative stank. It's just what it is, Hey, we all have our own rights to watch what we want to watch, and the consumer will teach you what's working and what isn't over in other places. Yeah. Let's see. Jimmy saying, I miss Fred. Only if he didn't sell out and play so selfish last year, he'd be a great fit. Yeah, I don't think so. I think we've moved past him. He's a fantastic success story, and I'm so proud of him. And I'm gonna tout his legend forever, for the rest of my life. I'll tout his legend because he's a real one. He's a real one. Even though yeah, he did sell out, but he needed to. He needed to. He's so worth it to see a guy like him get to that point to get that kind of money. That's an amazing success story. Amazing success story. Seymour saying Raps by 11 tonight. I like that prediction, Seymour. I'm gonna give you a dunk for a great prediction. It should be by double digits because we know Ed Malloy can be a factor. It really can. MSJ saying last thing on the media, they should realize that kids, like 10-year-old kids, are a huge part of the fan base, and they want positive news about their team. It's a kids game, promoted as such. I'm a big kid. I'm the same way. I want to hear positive stuff about the team. When I was younger, I remember the NBA was very much about portraying the positives. It wasn't so seedy. It wasn't so Woj and Shams and rumor oriented and trade talk. It was about, this is Rolando Blackman of the Dallas Mavericks, and he likes to play golf on his day off. And Rolando, how are you doing? Yes, I want to tell all the Dallas Mavericks fans to eat your Wheaties and have good vitamin intake too. And see, it was shit like that. Like they would market it a lot more like kid friendly and like positive and happy and stuff like that. Is for sure. It used to be like that when I was younger. The NBA was a lot more sanitary and kind of like more family friendly. In some ways, it isn't anymore. There's a lot of darkness to it, whether it's the betting, whether it's the violence, whether it's the very bad role models in the NBA, whether it's also, the fact that you can't get any positive people pieces anymore from the media. You can't do a people person piece on something great, like something charitable somebody did, or some inspiring story about somebody's family member and one of the players' family members or something. You can't fucking do that anymore. What the fuck? What the fuck? Seriously, it's crazy. It's crazy. Let's see. Carlos saying 100% MSJ, and it's not even that bad. We had many good wins this season. It's just consistency. It's normal with a new coach. Yeah, we're doing way better, honestly. That's part of the problem is they see our record and it's a losing record, so they really feel like they can go neg on us. But in some ways, that's like, intelligent basketball fans can see that this team has a lot of merit and they have some really good things going for them. That 9-11 record is actually really good considering their early schedule. So yeah, it is what it is. They're going to, any casual that doesn't understand this will just listen to them and be like, oh, the Raptors suck. They're only 9-11. Well, listen, you don't understand what they've been through since the season started. Blackhawks saying we shouldn't talk about Fred at all since Rockets gave him the welcome to NBA moment he wanted. Forget about the fact that Raptors gave him multiple contracts. Yeah, it is what it is. In some ways, no ill feelings, but in some ways, I'll talk about him as a Raptors alumni. He's not on the team anymore. He shouldn't be talked about every single day. And in some ways, he needs to be given the respect, but in some ways, also not to the detriment of our team at this point. If he's being disrespectful to our team, then I will say something about it. But I haven't heard him be disrespectful to our team. He still very much loves his time in Toronto and everything that had to do with it. Let's see. Carlos saying Koloko is probably one of the missing pieces that we need to unlock this team. Yeah, I agree with that. That would help a lot. Kareem saying, I love Fred. His story is a Disney script. I wish that guy all the best in any venture he takes on. Bet on yourself. He accomplished more in his career than 90% of anyone who played in the NBA. 90% of anyone in real life. Like maybe even higher percentage. Jimmy saying that one fault I give our front office was getting a big man so late in the season last year. In the offseason after Scotty's rookie year, we didn't change nothing while teams around us did make moves. This is one of the things. All right, I was talking about this earlier, that people don't actually understand the reality of the GM job and how hard it is. Now, when we were in Tampa and we had Aaron Baines and Alex Len and Freddie Gillespie, and Kem Birch as our four centers, they very actively were trying to get a new center. What happened was because of the shortened postseason between the bubble playoffs and the very beginning of the season we played in Tampa, he did a whole month, a whole summer of off-season transactions in like a couple of weeks in the fall. And in some ways we were scrambling because we lost Serge and Mark because we won the Giannis sweepstakes and we got the last kind of centers we could just get right before that season started, Aaron Baines and Alex Len. Now, if Aaron Baines had fit better, played better, that would have been fine. But he was an absolute failure, and he did not provide anything good for us as far as what he was supposed to do as a center. So that whole entire season, we were all crying out for a center. Now, part of the problem is we were operationally operating out of Tampa and not in Toronto. So we're already at a disadvantage because we're just trying to keep our heads above water dealing with that situation. And then there's also a very collective strategy by the NBA and the other teams to not trade us centers at that time. There were people we were talking to try and get centers from them, and we just couldn't. So there was a lot of trying to get centers. They weren't. It wasn't that they didn't want to. It's just that there were roadblocks, and nobody was willing to deal with them. And in some ways, a competitive edge was had over us by the other teams, and they knew that. So in some ways, they're like, we can't let the Raptors get centers by trading to them. So a lot of them were like that. So we had to be creative in trying to generate somebody that could be a center for us. So we got Khem Birch, and he helped a lot. In fact, he finally actually was playing some sound center for us. And then we got Freddie Gillespie from out of nowhere, and he was helping also near the end of the Tampa year. But it's been a work in progress to get a steady good center like Jakob, and finally we did get him when things opened up. And that was the timing of Pop that allowed us to get Jakob at that time. It's not like that Jakob sunshine opened up magically until that moment that it made sense for the Spurs to really put the tank on to get Victor and send Jakob to us at the trade deadline last year. He wasn't ready to do it. He wanted to hold on to him. So a lot of the timing sometimes has to do with other front offices and GMs and when they're willing to do things. And then that's when Jakob got. You don't think they would have tried to get Jakob way before that, or other times if it had worked and lined up in the right way, they would have. So the saga of getting a center finally again for the Raptors, it took a while, but you've got to understand there's all these hidden roadblocks the public does not know about, why the Raptors had a hard time acquiring a center for that time period. It really is teams like Cleveland were stockpiling centers on their roster. So that team had Tower City at that time, and they had a whole glut of all the 7-foot centers on their team for a while. They're very much Orlando was doing the same thing. And, there was very much a competitive edge against the Raptors that was held by NBA teams by not trading us a center. That was very calculated, seriously. So, Jimmy, does that make that whole thing make a little more sense as far as the timing and why it took so long for us to get Jakob and get a real center? Is because they were scrambling and trying everything. If Aaron Baines had worked out, that would have fixed everything, but he didn't. And then Khem was an adequate, okay, but he wasn't good enough, and we could upgrade. And that's when we did. And we got Jakob. Darko saying, Drake at the game to see Lowry? I hope so. We know Jonathan Sterling, the third ref, is a big Drake fan. And maybe he'll get starstruck and give some calls to the Raptors. That'd be awesome. Blackhawk saying, we all know the Raptors were pursuing Giannis is the true reason they let the players walk. The issue with that is we didn't build behind Pascal at that time. I mean, I get that, but in some ways, Pascal is the kind of player that's so good in multiple ways that you can do anything around him. It's like, why do you, in some ways you don't even have to cater to him to build around him, because most players can play with Siakam or around him and will fit with him. So I don't know. It's a weird thing. I get it. Cool Cat said this many times. We never built a team around Siakam. Well, there's always a team around him, and he was the man. And that's really that's a team around him. He was the man. He's our franchise player pretty much since Kawhi left. And, he's been able to be the man. It's just the team's around him. It's the team is built around him because he's just the man. I don't know how to answer that. It's what do you mean? You build around him? I know that he said very explicitly, we're building around Scotty right now. And maybe that's the difference. I don't know. I don't know how to answer this. In some ways, I feel like if Siakam's the man, we were building around him because he was just the man. I don't know. Semantics. David saying 647 games on at 11. There's a game today at 11, and I need to get done. I got 12 minutes. Carlos saying it's a 9:05 game televised anywhere. It should be on YouTube. Thanks for the cutoff, Jimmy. Blackhawk saying, yes, everyone won when Fred left, but we do not need the Woj interview. Let sleeping dogs lie. Well, people want to hear what he has to say. And like I said, I wasn't insulted by stuff he said on there. I didn't listen to it, all of it. But if there are things on there that you really feel like were that egregious, we can bring them up and I'll go listen to it. But otherwise, the parts that I heard, it was just matter of fact. He was very interested in staying. He didn't really want to leave because he's lazy, like in the way that he didn't want to pack his life up and leave. But the money was too good and it had to happen. MSJ saying the easiest way to think you're smart is to criticize someone for something they didn't want to happen. But in hindsight, this is the Masai haters approach. Masai wanted Fred back, but the money didn't work. Yeah. In a perfect world, all kinds of things you could happen you would want, but it's not a perfect world. And there's a landscape to things, and there are things that impede you and obstacles you have to overcome. And I don't think people have a realistic idea of how Bobby and Masai have to do their job and exactly how it all works. I really don't. I think that they really are dumb and they don't understand how hard it is to be a front office, and that there's all kinds of pitfalls and problems they're throwing in front of us that we have to overcome, like playing in Tampa, like having a crazy ass schedule, like different issues with the referees. There's a lot of different things thrown at us all the time. Blackhawks saying, of course, Masai wanted Fred back. The team was improving on Jakob came on board, so this year would be better with Fred. Still good that Fred is gone. Yeah, for the price, it wouldn't have worked. But yeah, Fred works really well with Jakob and Pascal, and even Scotty. Even though those people thought he didn't last year, they did actually work all right. David saying, I don't understand this revenge narrative with Suggs. Suggs was the one who tanked his workout, and when asked to come back for a second one, he said no thanks. We didn't shun him. He did. It's really more the media making it up. Once again, the media is a big problem here, whether it's the perception of the Raptors right now being negative or them putting out bullshit about the Jalen Suggs, Scotty Barnes thing and making Jalen feel like we dissed him. They manufactured that. We didn't care. We may have not even thought about Jalen Suggs after he screwed up his workout. And we were like, we're going to go Scotty. It has nothing to do with anything. Well, the media wants to make it a bigger deal by talking about it all the time. Then it becomes bigger thing. And that's part of what I'm saying. There's forces out there that are manufacturing things against us. And they want an angry Jalen Suggs against us. Well, the media made that. The media made that. Scissors. Jimmy saying, yes, Blackhawk. Yes. Cool Cat saying, Blackhawk, yeah, we were chasing Giannis sweepstakes. Pascal was basically a gap stop entertainment between Chip and Scotty franchise player. Hence, no center for 3 years. He made money. Yeah, and Siakam's got championships, G League and NBA, most improved player, all-star, all-NBA. Lots of good stuff for Siakam. Nothing wrong with that. Front guy saying, laugh out loud, damn, Fred talk emerged from thin air. Laugh out loud. Well, Woj interview did that this week. And Fun Guy, you're still in for this tournament. I hope you know you're the New Orleans Pelicans, my man. So if the Pelicans win, you get this trophy. So you're one of the 4 finalists, Fun Guy. Blackhawk saying Pascal has always been a marvel on my book. The front office has not tapped into Pascal the right way. I mean, they've developed him to a pretty high level at this point. Let's just put it that way. Paul B saying, let's make Darko poor and keep feeding this Raptors team. Win. Paul B, another team that's in the tournament still. Milwaukee wins. This is yours, Paul B. So it's like we got 2 of the guys here, Fun Guy and Paul B. 2 of the 4 teams that are still involved in the Trevor J Challenge. Blackhawks saying we had the Egyptian center in the 905, but never took it further because we were trying to find the small ball center that mirrors Draymond. Yeah. That guy was way too slow. That guy was way too slow from what I remember. I watched him on 905, and that man was so slow. So slow. That's the problem with the really big guys. They're too slow. Taco Fall. Jimmy's saying, well, they betted on our small ball being successful after getting the 6th seed Scotty's rookie year, but it didn't work out the same the next year, last year. I never liked playing Scotty at center and having that 5 lineup with Gary, OG, Pascal, and Fred. I thought it worked, and they did okay because they're very talented, but we were undersized that whole time. And it in some ways, it really was a detriment that we had to overcome more than it was helping us. Blackhawks saying Kem would be great on the team right now because Precious gets dyslexic when it comes to screening. Kem is an excellent screener. Oh, yeah, for sure. I think he's done. I think he's retired. I feel bad for him and Wendy. But in some ways, his knee just never got better in the last couple of years. And it's sad. But you know what? The man's had an NBA career, And he did get to play for the Toronto Raptors, a dream he had as a child. So, he can't be that upset. Cool Cat saying at Blackhawk, Pascal is an inspirational player, one of one in the entire league. My only two favorites in the entire league, Magic and Pascal. Ultra short list, even though I love and watch a lot of b-ball. So her two favorites are Magic Johnson and Pascal Siakam. That's amazing. Good ones. Carlos saying even Baines is better at screening. Listen. I know Raptors Moments has his little clip out of Precious Achiuwa right now. He's another one I wish would do more positive stuff instead of cracking on our team and making fun of it all the time. Sure, it's funny when you make a clip of Malachi busting a fart on the bench. That's funny, Raptors Moments. And you have some really funny content, but I don't appreciate you like putting down our players like you did Achiuwa this week. Because in some ways you perpetuate this. Now I have all these people in here talking about how Achiuwa can't put a proper screen out there because of your clip this week. So yeah, I don't like that. That's bad out propaganda right there. So please, Raptors Moments, use your power for good, please, and make fun of the other team more than us, please. Because in some ways, there's already enough people dumping on us right now. You don't need to be one of them. I like your channel, but you have been kind of dissing our Raptors recently. I don't like that. Let's see. Also, Darko unlocked Baines at Phoenix. Yeah, we're not even going there. Baines is in Australia, and he should stay there. All right, I'm 5 minutes away. Can I do it? If Fred wanted to stay, he wouldn't say the writing was on the wall about this being Scotty's team. That is the second slick comment Fred said in the interview. Just shows Fred's vulnerability, a.k.a. jealousy. I think he's just reading the room, and that was true. I think that was just true. Kareem saying Keep did everything did right except finishing around the rim. Okay, I'm not sure who you're saying. Jimmy saying go 905, woo, and go Raps, go get both dubs. I'm all about that. McGarvey saying bye Lex. Been a mean man, been the man, mean nothing. If you don't build around Pascal never gets a player that averages 20 plus points. Well, I mean, he's had guys around him that have scored around 20 points, like Gary and Fred and Scotty. I mean, listen, like I said, Siakam's like Pippen. He's an all-around player, and those kind of players you can put around any kind of group, and it's not about building around them. In some ways, Siakam has a very good team around him that does a lot of good stuff around him. It's just who we got. I just don't get that whole idea about building around him. I know they're saying that about Scotty right now, but I don't know. In some ways, I don't have enough time to talk about this too much. Let's see. Blackhawk saying, my daughter met Kem and then rubbed it in my face that she got a photo when I'm the Raptors nut in the family. That's awesome. Kem's such a nice guy. I'd love to meet him. Monique is saying, W Stream Lex, keep at it as always. Great. Good times. Only go Raptors. What a time. Get out of here is what he's saying. Bam. All right. Finishing up real quick. The injuries are as such. There will be no Tyler Hero, no Haywood Highsmith, no Bam Adebayo, no RJ Hampton, and no Drew Smith for the Miami Heat. Those are major people. So we need to beat them up down low with our size advantage against them. So no Bam and no Tyler is really huge. Meanwhile, on our side, it's only Koloko who's out. The referees tonight are Ed Malloy, Sean Corbin, and Jonathan Sterling. Not the best ref crew for us. They favor the Miami Heat overall. So I'm a little worried. Let's get into the main event marquee matchup. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Westchester, New York. Tonight we have or this afternoon, we have a schoolyard game against the Raptors 905 versus the Westchester Knicks. In this corner from Kansas, Grady Dick. And in this corner for the Westchester Knicks, James Dolan. Who's going to win? The rookie, the 20-year-old rookie, or the fat slob piece of shit who's suing our team? I don't know. We'll find out. And now here at Scotiabank Arena tonight, the main event marquee matchup. First of all, for the Miami Heat, you know him. You love him from Villanova, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The GOAT, Kyle Lowry, and his opponent establishing maybe possibly more GOAT status over him. This is a GOAT battle from Cameroon, NBA champion Pascal Siakam. So we have a GOAT battle tonight, Kyle Lowry versus Pascal Siakam. Who will be the greatest Raptor of all time after this game tonight? I think it might be Siakam. I'd like to see Siakam come out there and kick the shit out of the Heat tonight, get a lot of points, and win the game for the Raptors. That's right, y'all. Thanks for watching me today. Let's see. If you want Orlando Robinson, it's too late. It's too late. You can't get Orlando Robinson from Miami Heat in our Yahoo Raptor Freak Fantasy Basketball League. You can go get him right now if you want him. No, it's too late. David went and got him. It's too late. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching me. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And the Raptors 905 are about to start the game in 2 minutes. So please go to YouTube on Raptors 905 site, and you can watch them play the Westchester Knicks. Hopefully Grady Dick will be playing very shortly. So y'all, I love y'all. Stay positive. Kick your day's ass, just like the Raptors going to kick Miami's ass tonight. And hopefully Ed Malloy will be kind and not be shady and doing any kind of crazy shit on that court tonight. Let's go Raptors 905 and Raptors. That's right, Cool Cat. I love y'all. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Let's go Raptors.